Hey fellas of YouTube, this is Rabbi speaking, and all the way back in 2021, when I was watching Black Lagoon for the first time, I said I was going to review it on Twitter, that I was going to review this, like do a review video like I'm doing right now. So why am I doing this right now when I could have done it 2 years ago? Well, I think it was because I was getting distracted by other things, like other side projects or stuff going on, like in life and everything. But lucky, I wrote the notes down for like the video, so luckily I remember what I'm going to be talking about, like how I felt about the show. And so yeah, and some people might think like, oh, you're cheating, you should watch Black Lagoon again, and maybe I will someday, but right now I just don't have the time. I want to watch some other shows and focus on my book and stuff. I just got a bunch of shit going on, but let's just talk about Black Lagoon because it's better late than never. So, Black Lagoon, I binged watched this on, it was either Netflix or Funimation. It was one of those two. And so, I just decided to take it upon myself to watch this series. And yeah, I actually had a fun ride with this series. And I don't need the notes to say that, to remember that, because I really did. You know, it was a short series. It didn't overstay its welcome, even though the manga is still going on. I just thought, like, you know, this will be an easy watch, and here I am with my review. This is how I feel about the show. So, what is Black Lagoon about? Well, if you've seen shows like, say, Cowboy Bebop, where it's about this crew traveling in space, collecting bounties, Black Lagoon kinda does the same thing a bit. Like, it's a bit episodic and they travel on a ship, the Black Lagoon, but it doesn't take place in space. It's more just a more, I wouldn't say grounded, but it's more realistic. It's more about the criminal underworld. Like, instead of a spaceship, it's them just traveling on a boat and just going to places, taking on missions. They're basically pirates, the crew of the Black Lagoon. Let's start off with The Rock, one of the crew members of the Black Lagoon, of course. What's different about him compared to the other three members of the Black Lagoon is that he's the less violent. He's the less, I guess you can say, guilty, maybe. Basically, he started off as kind of a good guy where he was just a normal office worker, but he hated it. And so once he met the Black Lagoon, once he joined them on an adventure, he was just like, you want to know something? Just presume that I'm dead so I can go with you guys and just live a new life as a criminal. What I like about him is that he's the more level-headed. Like, he's the one who tries to reason with all the other criminals and stuff, because the other three members are all about action, whereas he's more about negotiating, trying to just compromise. But the only thing about his character is that he doesn't really change much. He doesn't really go through too much development. I don't know how it is in the manga later, but he just feels like the same character, and I feel like after a while, his character would change, like just going through the criminal underworld and all that. So, but that's just me. Like, maybe development is more slower. Maybe, like I said, maybe he just developed more in the manga. Don't spoil it for me. But the one character that everybody loves is Revy, aka Two Hands. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not too big on that name. I mean, I feel like they could have came up with something better, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to say, but that doesn't change how I feel about Revy, and that is, she's a really cool character. She's a badass, she has a really tragic backstory, and you really see why, like, from her backstory of how she is, who she is in this series. What I also love about her, though, is her chemistry with Rock. Is that she pretends like she hates Rock, like, oh, I hate you, Rock, go away, you don't belong in this crew, to actually having chemistry with him, to actually bonding with him. There's this one scene where, I know I'm going a little bit into spoilers, but this one scene where they like light cigarettes together and they just light it with the same match. It was just such a heartfelt moment between two criminals. And then the other two members of the Black Lagoon are Dutch and Benny. And the problem with these two characters is that, like, don't get me wrong, they're cool characters. And you do hear a little bit about their backstories, like where they were before the Black Lagoon. But they don't really have their own episodes. They don't really have just these fleshed out moments. It's like they're just there to fight and just to help out the other two characters, The Rock and Revy. Show us the flashbacks of what they went through. And maybe it's in the manga, maybe it's later in the manga, but It should have been shown in this anime. It just should have been. It's like, why call this the Black Lagoon, where 2 of the crew members aren't really the main characters? Like, that just doesn't make too much sense to me at all. Everybody's favorite character in this show is Revi, but my favorite is over here, Balalaika. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I don't know if I pronounced the name to my favorite character, but anyway, this Russian mafia chick is just so amazing. She is ruthless. She is intimidating. She is someone you don't want to mess with. You want to be on her side, like just be under her umbrella. And it's a good thing the Black Lagoon is under her umbrella, because if they went against her, oh man, like, that'd be just, I don't even know how they would survive something like that. But what I love about Balalaika the most is that she has a fleshed out backstory, even though it's just like these bits and pieces of flashbacks. You still learn a lot about her and why she is where she is now in the Mafia. And just every time she is just in a room with all these other criminals, like these key members of the underworld, I just see her as the most intimidating, the most powerful. The animation is okay. It's not the best, and that's okay, especially from something that's from the 2000s. But it's still okay. It holds up, especially during the gunfights. And now on to the music, the opening. Now, when I listened to the opening the first time, I did not like it. The second time, which was like 2 minutes ago, I was literally just on my phone listening to the opening. I like it better, actually. I actually thought it's just one of those openings that grows on you, just like it has with me. And it gets you excited for what's about to come. And that's exactly, I say this with openings all the time. Openings to an anime are supposed to get you excited. It's supposed to get you ready for what's about to come. It's like when someone judges a book for its cover. Black Lagoon is an 8 out of 10 for me. It's one of those animes that gave me a break from the sci-fi, the fantasy, the isekai, the shonen. It's just like how I felt with Breaking Bad. Except I love Breaking Bad. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. And so Breaking Bad, what I mean by that is that Breaking Bad, when I watched it for the first time, I didn't think I was going to like it at first. I didn't think I was going to love it so much, but then I did. And I was just amazed how much I was just getting out of my comfort zone. Because usually I was into stuff like Star Wars and of course anime, like just all these shonens and stuff, that I thought Breaking Bad was not going to just not be part of my taste and everything, if that makes sense. But no, I was wrong, and I thought maybe Black Lagoon was going to be similar to that. And it is, like I said before, but it'll never be close to Breaking Bad. I know some people might be like, oh, why would you compare Black Lagoon to Breaking Bad? They just feel like a bit of the same genre. I mean, it's about, you have The Rock, who start off as a normal guy, and then you had Walter White, who start off as a normal guy. 2 normal guys going into the world of criminals, and how it just changes their lives. But what did you think of this anime? What did you think of Black Lagoon? Did you like it? Did you not? Have you not seen it? Your thoughts down below in the comments. And if you are new to this channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Rob A, and may the anime force be with you.